AJ want everything he can. I'll be the one to see him Pando.
Tank. I'm Melvin Gray.
This is another episode of Nice and Neat.
I'm Duke.
I'm Omar. I'm Jalon.
Yeah. Welcome back to another episode.
What's the dilly?
So this is what Mike said. It's been done before, but I know I can. I'm on a rap, I'm trying to keep a level head. She want my time, she begging me to give me that. I'd rather shed blood to the ground.
Okay. Damn, it's a minute. Yo, what's the deal, y'all? Hope all is well. Welcome back to another episode. I'm Duke.
I'm Omar. I'm Jalon, and this is another episode of the #1 podcast in all of Los Angeles. Nice and Neat. Your boys are back. We got some news for you guys.
We get straight into the news?
We get straight to the news.
We got to catch them up, right?
We're gonna get straight into the news. So, we took a few weeks off, right? Mm-hmm. We took a few weeks off. We was getting some things ordered, like in order.
Sorted.
We're getting things sorted. Little house
We're getting things sorted.
Right? We got a new distribution platform that we are with now. Blue Wire, shout out to them.
Shout out to Blue Wire.
So they will be who distributes our audio portion of our platform. So make sure you guys run over to the audio as well. We need to get those streams. We need to get those numbers as high as possible. And we it's a partnership.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's a partnership. So
we're proud of too.
Super proud.
Yeah.
Super proud. So everybody who has grown with us up until now, we took another leap, and hopefully this is the prefaces of us doing some great stuff.
And let's just be clear too, like nothing's changing here. You know what I mean?
Right.
The shows are still cracking, the pod is still rolling. So you guys will still be able to get your weekly dose of game from your big bros, and it'll be all good.
All right, y'all. So look, let's play a little catch up right quick.
What's been up? It's been a minute, man. We ain't touched the mics in
I know.
you got a ring on your finger.
Come on, man. Talk about
We
it.
ain't been on since you got married.
We got to play catch up.
Bro, that's crazy.
Walk us through it.
Let's talk about it, man.
Shit,
Look,
walk us-
man.
Hey, because only you was there, so you got to tell us about it. We can't. We can't tell it for
Wait,
you.
first, how do you feel right now?
Dog. So this is gonna be great. This is gonna be a catch up, because Duke called me the other day. He was just like, "Hey, yo, like, how you?" I was in the middle of doing like husband stuff.
You was in the middle of doing what?
Husband stuff.
You was in the middle of doing what?
Husband stuff. I was just in the middle of doing husband stuff. Being a dad, my son's walking now. Like,
Wow.
stuff is just like moving so fast. So to catch you up, we got married. We got married on our anniversary. We didn't want to, not even we. I didn't want to go another year, bro, without being married. I feel like us having our love and our story and the things that we building, honestly, I just feel like not being married is just putting that on hold. That was super important for me. It was super important for her, and we just like, yo, how do we want to do it? We have so many people that we love and care about that we wanted to be a part of it, but man, that costs a few ducats, right?
Cost a grill.
And it was like that was gonna be something that delayed our process. So in that being something that delayed our process, we said, you know what? We can celebrate anytime, but we still need to make this official, not only with just us, but in God's eyes. That's something that was important to us. So we honestly, man, we did the whole lead up. We got baptized. We dedicated ourselves to make sure that we are walking together as a family with Jesus. That was really important. And we was just having fun together, like really having fun leading up. And I was just like, okay, I can do this, right? We ended up going out to Laguna. It was like this small B&B out there, which super scenic. So we got married in a tower. One of my mentors, he actually officiated for us. So like that was super dope. What I thought was really cool, man, was I had all of the feels of a wedding that you'll be planning for 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had my tux. She had her dress. We exchanged vows, and like, I was dumb emotional. Omar, I was dumb emotional, bro. But like, it was honestly, because like we going, I'm like, okay, we're just gonna exchange our vows. We're gonna do it, and we're gonna lock in, and it's gonna be good. Man, I was dumb emotional, bro. And it was the first time my son ever sat quiet for an hour plus. Like, he was just sitting there just looking. And I was like, wow. Like, this moment was really supposed to happen, man. It was super beautiful. We did like a little mini moon in Laguna, and we went to Catalina as well afterward. And man, you know, we're a little bit over a month in now, and it's just like, it's been super dope. Duke was asking me like, how's it been? And just answering the question you asked me when you called me, man, it's been super. I've been extremely patient, like, because there's no more of that when you are, I'm not saying when you're in a relationship it's not serious, but it's no more of like, are we walking together forever, or is it just kind of like you can get up and leave if you want to? Like when you marry, bro, like there is, that is off of the
That
table.
goes out the window.
So it's like, if she's mad at it, it's like, you know what do I need to do to fix it?
Yep.
If I have a problem with something, I could feel her of what do I need to do to fix it.
It's like like that agitation that you get, not necessarily from the act, but you get agitated because it's like, yo, why do I feel uncertain?
Yes, there is. It's like whatever I need to do to make this right, and being completely honest with myself to make this right. Also, I understand, you know, I feel like there's a lot of men who have a problem with, like, man, why does she get to do this and I don't get to do this? It's really our job to lead us out of any situation that we in. It really is. We don't get the benefit to just be like, I matched energy and that's just what it is. We just don't get that benefit. And when you match energy, the energy gonna be off until you decide to come around. Like, and it takes such a long time to like. But honestly, man, marriage it's been beautiful. It's been beautiful. I feel like how O said, I was tripping for even thinking that it wasn't gonna be different on this side. Like like it's different, man. It's different. The day of, so crazy. The day of, our officiant was flying in from the Bay Area. He was literally the skin of his teeth of missing a flight.
There's always gonna be something,
right?
There's always gonna be something, bro.
Hey, and as she's getting her hair and makeup done, we're a whole hour and a half behind of when we're supposed to be leaving. I can't tell her, cause I'm like, we're gonna figure it out. I don't need to put nothing else on her. So he almost missed his flight. He's calling me, and I'm like, man, it's all good. Like, we'll figure it out. Like, it's all good. It's still early. Like, we'll figure it out. I feel like if nothing happens on the day, like, how are you gonna remember it? Like, nothing happens, how you gonna remember it? So that was super special. It was, you know, and then everybody who was there, we literally had photographer, Dammy.
Dammy came through in the clutch again.
Always. She's never failed. Dammy. In
case y'all looking for services, you know.
Photographer, Dammy, Edison's godparents, and an officiant, and that was literally all that we had. And it was special. It felt so special, and I appreciated that we didn't have to go through the 18-month process of planning and arguing and going back and forth with each other and taking away from the moment that we were trying to create for that moment.
Now that the moment has happened, would you go back and do it again the same way?
100 times. I think I would do that the same way. I'm actually glad that we had to be in a space to improvise, because I feel like that was the best thing for us. She's not like super public in the sense of like, she needs to feel every moment, and other people will be distraction for her to feel any moment that she has. Like, she
doesn't need other people.
She doesn't need.
Make it feel very important.
One thing I would say is the most special thing about my wife is outside validation does not do anything for her. It has to fully be, this is how I felt about this.
That shit feel good, huh? Like my wife.
Say it again.
My wife.
Nah, it's crazy, you know. But I mean, so I will say, during that process, this is some things that, you know, you got to kind of like, hey, yo, this is just how we're gonna do it, and this is how it's gonna look, and you guys make the best situation out of that. You know, I feel like I made her feel very comfortable with understanding, like, this is what I want to do, and this is where I want to be, and you're who I want to be with. We need to figure out what that looks like for us. And I feel like we executed. I mean, she executed. She does that stuff. I go to work and she executes. So she does that stuff. But man, it was great. Oh, and then these bands, super special. I was telling you, these are her parents' wedding bands that they gifted to us. And it was so meaningful to me because her father passed in this ring. So for her mother to entrust me with something like this was, I couldn't even put it in words. We went and got our rings engraved on the inside with a specific scripture that we feel like we can, anytime things might get engraved.
That's a vision for y'all.
Just a vision for us, you know.
It's beautiful.
So it was super dope, man. It was dope. So we got an anniversary. Oh, we got married on our anniversary as well. Oh, you did that as well, because I'm not about to waste this day.
Nah, and I don't want to have to be thinking
I don't wanna
about
change
or be
nothing
lose
else.
or forgetting. No.
Hey, how long y'all been together? It's
the same.
It's rolling over.
Yep.
It's rolling
It's
over.
rolling over.
Yeah.
So that's really nice, bro.
That's tight.
Actually, I got like warm listening to you
That's tight.
tell the story.
Yeah.
I'm really happy for you guys.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Daddy.
I never thought that we were going to be you know, when you growing up, you always be like, I'm gonna have this kind of wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I never assumed that I was gonna have an intimate wedding.
Yeah. I could say the same thing. I never envisioned that.
Crazy how that works, huh?
It is.
It's crazy how that works. It's like it never goes like how you think it's gonna go. With anything, it's always a little different. Especially when you have two people who both had their idea of how it's supposed to look.
Facts.
Yes.
You know
That's
what I
it.
mean?
That's it right
So
there.
like you both had your idea of how it's supposed to look. So hell no, it just, even if it's a grandiose wedding, it's not gonna look how y'all. Like there's no way you could merge your vision
Yeah.
and her vision and look exactly like this, like made up merged vision, right? It just, but it's be still beautiful though,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, man.
I mean, you know, when you got deceased parents, I mean, I envision my parents being at my wedding.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
so like,
yes.
you know, as life happens, things just
Yes.
change.
Everything is circumstance.
Yeah,
Modified.
like things are modified. So like,
a fact.
you know, you should really, I think the biggest thing, bro, is for me that I'm realizing as we continue to age, grow, and mature is you. Like you. It's what you want, how you think, how you see things, how you feel about things.
Yep.
And it's so tough to break the cycle because you are raised under the way somebody else tells you what certain things are and how you're supposed to view it. And that's not out of spite or anything. It's just, hey, yo, this is the way I know to go through life. So here goes things to get through life.
Especially when the way you've been raised is also being perpetuated through mass culture.
Yeah.
Yep.
You dig what I'm saying? So like not only you learn it in the household, but you learn it from
All around you.
everywhere around you.
So
So
you're
it's like this is what you're
Yep.
supposed to do, and it's very hard. It's super hard to go against what you think you're supposed to do. And like it's an underrated skill. So when you meet people or you come across people who have that ability to carve their own path, man, that's powerful. Because not many people are willing to do that. A lot of people can't even see the beauty in like modification.
Mm-hmm.
That's just an audible.
Modifications sometimes audibles throw people off so much.
Yeah. That's
They-
an
they-
audible.
They forget it's another play.
It's another play.
That's what an audible is. It's
Successful.
another play.
Right?
It's another play, fam. You're not out the game. You just got you another play. That's a bar.
That's a bar.
That's a bar.
It's a better play.
Yep. That's good.
You said, dude, being able to kind of, we'll call it in any individual's circumstances, going against whatever their kind of social norm is a skill, right? Because it's what they want to do, it's what their heart feels. Speaking about being a good guy, do you think you can be a good guy and still go against social norms?
Do you think you can be a good guy and still be against? Did you say against?
Against social norms.
I don't think you can be considered a good guy. I think you can be a good person and a kind person. I think you can be someone who does good deeds. You can help people. You can inspire people. but you won't be considered a good guy if you're going against social norms, because society judges people usually based on, yo, are you with us or against us? And so a lot of times people aren't able to tell, like, just because you don't believe in the things that I believe in, that you're still a good person. That's just how we operate, most of us. Like, we kind of make people enemies for not believing in the things that we believe in.
But does that make them not a good person?
I'm not saying they are, but the way people perceive people who are against them is not.
What's against the grain, or against societal norms?
Okay, so a societal norm would be to everyone needs to send their kids to school. Mm-hmm. That's a society.
So if I don't send my daughter to school, I'm a bad guy.
People will assume that you're like, there's something wrong.
They'll say I'm a bad parent.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
you're going against the grain.
Yeah.
You know, we just came out of matter of fact, we just came out of election season, right? Based off of who you want to vote for, somebody will say,
correct.
They'll label you a specific person, right? Us being in California, if you're voting for Donald Trump, specifically, outside of who he is or anything, because we're in a democratic state, if you're voting for a Republican in California, you're going against the grain. That's just,
I get that, but are people gonna say you're a bad guy?
I don't think anyone's gonna ever come out and say you're a bad guy.
They're not gonna necessarily say you're a bad
energy. It's gonna be an energy. You know, it's gonna be an aura that they can, like, they paint you as someone who's like an imposing character or whatever the case may be. But no one's gonna ever say you're a bad guy, but you'll feel it.
Yeah, like, so for example, a trait of somebody who's just a good guy is being passive, right? So like, if you was like, oh, this is who I want to vote for, and somebody was like, what, you want to vote for them? And you change your decision off of that, you will fall under the nice guy. You'll be the nice guy. Let me make people feel comfortable around me because of how they feel.
Man, you also classify somebody who don't have a backbone.
Okay, so let's talk about it.
Hey.
All right, so that's exactly what nice guy syndrome is.
Not lacking a backbone.
It's not about, it's lacking a backbone, but when people hear nice guy, okay, and I don't like when people hear the word nice guy syndrome and they don't understand, like, word semantics. Like, nice guy doesn't literally mean you're a nice person. We're all nice people. But when you hear nice guy, it's a different connotation than a nice girl or a nice woman. When you hear nice guy, it's under the definition of, this dude right here is a pushover. This dude right here is a people pleaser. He is easy to persuade. He is not assertive. He does not take up space. He's not confident in his voice. He is willing to put his own desires, wants, and needs behind other people. He is always available to other people. That's a nice guy, okay? And that right there is someone you don't want to be. They said be nice. Yeah, we nice and neat. We nice and neat, but we don't want to be nice guys. But we want to be kind men.
Nice and neat is a metaphor for how we move. It ain't necessarily describing us being nice men.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
That's a fact. And but like, again, like, people will hear this and say, okay, we don't take pride in being kind. I'm a kind person. I think you're a kind person. I've seen you guys interact with people. No one will come up to you and say, well, someone will say you guys are assholes, but everyone's an asshole to somebody.
Who gonna say that, dude? Who gonna say that? I think
they say that about Duke.
They
Man,
say
say that about Duke for sure. They gonna say that about Duke for sure.
I plead the fifth, man. I plead the fifth. But I'm just saying, to someone, a good guy is a bad guy in someone else's story.
Yep.
Okay? But I'm saying that you guys are kind people. We're kind people. We take pride in being kind, but we don't want to be nice guys, man. Nice guys get stomped on.
Nice guys, by the metaphor, right? Like, not being assertive, not speaking up for, like you said, like, for what you want.
Standing on business. On your business.
Do nice guys get disrespected often?
All the time. Do nice guys get disrespected often?
Do nice guys get disrespected, or do nice guys not get respected?
No, if you dismiss,
I don't think nice guys get disrespected.
yes, nice guys get disrespected. Yes, nice guys get disrespected. If people play in your face when you're a nice guy, right? Because they know, especially you build a reputation of not speaking up for yourself. People aren't good enough people.
Because your boundaries are unclear.
Yeah, people aren't good enough people to just see, like, nah, that's just not how it operates. As a man, it doesn't work like that. They will disrespect you. I mean, I'll give you an example, and I love Russell Wilson, okay? But when he was playing with the Broncos last year, Sean Payton was talking to him crazy. You feel me? Like, it was people, receivers, teammates talking to him crazy on the sideline.
Yeah.
They're not doing that with Cam Newton.
No. Because he's a nice. Because you're saying because Russ is a nice guy.
Because he's nice. Because that's the only reason that the quarterback
should never happen.
First of all, I'm talking about players that weren't superstars.
Yeah.
Now, if you are if you have a relationship like Tom Brady and Julian Edelman, okay, I get that. They got a relationship. Or you Rob Gronkowski and you barking at Tom Brady.
Special cases.
Special cases, right? But the culture of NFL football, you're not talking to the quarterback like that. The guy won a Super Bowl. This guy won a Super Bowl. He's better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not talking to him like that unless you don't respect him. So yes, yes, nice guys get disrespected for sure. Overlooked, dismissed.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
I think, honestly, I think the biggest thing in being a nice guy, air quotes, for the listeners, I'm using air quotes, being a nice guy is just having unclear boundaries. Because I think you can be a really nice guy. I think Peyton Manning's an extremely nice guy, right? But I think his boundaries on how far you can push him, they're very clear. They don't move. They don't fluctuate. I'm not going to speak to this guy this way. This is what is established, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm a nice guy, but there's boundaries. So they don't move, they don't fluctuate, and I'm going to speak up on how I feel about certain things. I also think that when you are more of a slave to how you appear rather than what you really are feeling, I think that's when you can fall into the nice guy space. Russell is a nice, God-fearing man. However, we all are human and we all have our flaws, right? There's just certain things that certain people should not be able to do to you that he has allowed, right? Because he hasn't created a boundary. He never even spoke out on it. And like, I feel like that is the space where it's like, oh, well, he gonna let him disrespect him. I could disrespect him. It's just like when you in high school. You in high school, if you let that first dude punk you when you're in high school, you're gonna go the rest of your 4 years. And that be exactly how people perceive you.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like every now and again, you know, you got to make an example of somebody.
Yeah, but I can give you pushback. I think you're a nice guy, but in the sense that you're explaining it, you know, you're not someone who is going to not use your voice. You know, you're not someone who's going to not say anything to pacify people. Okay? That's not you. If you believe something, you're going to speak on it, even if it ruffles people's feathers, because that's what you believe in. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you build a track record of not doing that, then are you a nice guy? All right? But in this context, the only way I describe nice guy is exactly what I'm saying. Yo, you people pleasing, all those things. You know, I would call you kind. I would call you a good man. But I would never use the word nice guy to describe you. Because when I hear nice guys and the term nice guys finish last, you don't come to mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't, people like y'all don't, people like us, I don't think come to mind. You know? Now, are you going to treat women nice? Absolutely. Are you gentle, caring, romantic, all those things, empathetic? Absolutely. But you said there's a big fat boundary. It's just a big fat boundary that you are willing to establish so people don't cross it. You know, and I don't think people are meeting you like, I could try him. Nah, I don't see it.
Question for both of you guys. Hey, and you know what? Whoever jumps at the question first, take it. Do you think that when it comes to love, boundaries are blurred a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah. Feelings are involved. You're always trying to protect somebody. Yeah, boundaries are definitely blurred.
So let's say when it comes to like a nice guy and he leads with love. First and foremost, he leads with love.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, I can handle this, but like this person may not be able to handle it. And that is his definition and how he's defining love. Is he, see, I guess nice guy is based off of societal perception.
And that's fine.
It has nothing to do with how you feel about yourself.
Nah. And that's fine though, cause like it's like this, right? When you hear women talk about they're gonna have a hot girl summer, what comes to mind?
Salacious.
Hey, studying doesn't, right?
Not
Right? It's not studying doesn't, right? Church doesn't. None of that's salaciousness. Okay, so that is the definition. So no, we can't try to change the narrative to fit our. Nah, that is what it is. So when we hear people talk about a nice guy, that is the definition. Even though the two words, by itself can mean different things, we know what you're a nice guy. You know when girls say, "Yeah, I like him, but he's just a nice guy."
Yep.
I like him.
Yep.
But I'm not going on a date with him.
That's not going nowhere.
I'm not going on a date with him again because he's a nice guy.
Yep.
You know what that means?
So this is like, we talked about this way back. So this is like the difference between nice guy and the right guy. Good woman versus the right woman.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes the right guy is not a good guy.
Sometimes
the right guy is not a good one.
It's just the right guy for her.
So yeah, a lot of guys are going through these. They just don't know how to take up space, And I would say, man, don't be afraid to ruffle feathers sometimes, because you're gonna teach yourself how. Because when you get in a relationship, right, you're gonna teach yourself how to say no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're gonna teach yourself how to, establish boundaries with your woman. She's gonna respect it. Like your woman, she'll never tell you this. She'll never say, "Hey, baby, stop letting me have my way." She'll never tell you that. Ever. She'll never tell you that. But eventually, that'll become your identity, and it'll start teaching her that, like, man, like you're not really assertive.
You gotta put your foot down.
Which matters, especially when you start getting around other men and other couples. That stuff matters because your woman wants to be proud of you and take pride in having her man lead. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to show up in, if you're a business guy, you think about, if you're a nice guy, you're not asking for what you're worth.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't asking for that.
You're happy for what they offer you.
You're happy for what they offer you. So like,
knowing your ceiling is so much higher, knowing you're worth so much more, knowing you have so much more value to bring.
So you're not going to challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, so there's so many layers to it because you're absolutely right. And the thing that I'm constantly hearing, though, is confidence. Confidence in every space, confidence within your relationship, confidence within your business life, confidence within who you are will allow you to vocalize how you feel about something, what you feel like you're worth, as you mentioned, and then being able to maneuver in those spaces, right? There's a comfort in not saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not a comfort when you're sitting alone by yourself and you be like, I should have said something.
Yes.
And me personally, bro, I do not ever want to live with regret. So like, my wife, she calls me ice cream sandwich, right? It's an inside joke that we have, right? But this is the inside joke, right? It comes from me always asking for what I want, even if it's the most wild request. I was 7 years old. My siblings, they had a field trip to the Hollywood Bowl with their music teacher. It's a symphony at the Hollywood Bowl. They're with their teacher. Don't ask me how I got on this field trip. My parents sent me to the field trip.
Mm-hmm.
They're in middle school. They're in band. I'm walking with their teacher, and they're up ahead a little bit. And the teacher's like, okay, we'll go get some waters. Water's free. And it was like, we'll go get some waters. I didn't want a water. I wanted an ice cream sandwich. I don't have any money. And he said, okay, what do you guys want? I said, I want an ice cream sandwich. He said, oh, we're just getting waters. I said, but I want an ice cream sandwich. And he was like, he's looking at this. He's a white man. He's looking at this little black kid of 7 years old, looking at him straight in the face, saying exactly what he wants. And he bought me an ice cream sandwich. And we laugh about it because she said, you actually carry this energy into your life all the time. And we laugh because she's like, yo, you were dumb out of pocket for that. But it's actually what draws me to you, because I know you're never going to be in a situation where you was just like, I didn't get what I really wanted there. And I don't know if that is something that's taught or if it's learned, or if somebody could sit down. I know, Duke, you sit down and you mentor a lot of men, whether it's on their physicality or even their mental fortitude. Is confidence something that you can instill in another man? Another person?
It's hard for someone else to instill confidence in someone else, because confidence really comes from someone actually doing the physical work of whatever they're trying to get better at. That's where confidence comes from. Like, we all get confidence in anything that we're doing, that we're trying, because we're doing we're constantly repeating the repetitions over and over and over and over again. So then you gain the confidence. It's really hard for me to be like, hey, Jalon, bro, you got it, bro. You got it, bro. Every day, and I'm telling you, got it, but you're not applying what we're talking about. No matter what I pour into you or how much I give you, until you do the action and perform the action yourself over and over and over again, you won't gain the confidence. So that's where it becomes to, like, even like the guys, the nice guys, like, I think like an actual thing for like those type of men to do is to sit down and decide who you are, and then decide what we do, right? Like, who I am is like what I stand for. You know what I mean? What I do is like, I'm not the business that I stand on top of. You know what I mean? So it's like, no matter what someone brings to me, I know who I am. I've already decided who I am, where I'm going, and what we do. That doesn't really align with me. So no, I got to pass today. And standing on that, because you decided who you are, who you're going to be, and where you're going to go. But until you answer that question for yourself, it's kind of hard for you to not escape the nice guy syndrome. You know what I mean? You're kind of just stuck underneath that thumb of it until you decide and man up and say, hey man, this is who Omar is going to be in this world, what I stand for and what I don't stand for. You know what I mean? But until I believe that until you decide who that person is, you're going to always get the nice guy label.
Yeah. So with confidence, I think true confidence comes from doing it yourself. You got to just get in.
Period.
Only true confidence, it comes from action and just showing and doing something and proving to yourself that you can do it. So the next time you're faced with it, you know that you've done it multiple times, so you're more confident, okay? I think people can also instill confidence in you, but that confidence is more so, I'm giving you the confidence to do this thing and fail. And because I think about the sports, and it's just like, you get a coach who's like, hey, yo, just shoot the ball. Just shoot it. It's all good. You got the green light to shoot it. So if you miss it, it's all good. Keep shooting. But then you get a coach who's like, yo, if you shoot and miss, I'm pulling you. That's different. So the confidence comes from, okay, I know I have the green light to shoot and miss. So if I have the green light to shoot and miss, that means I can get better at shooting. Okay? So then I start seeing the shots go down, and that's when I get confidence in my shot. So I think there's two kind of confidences, or two forms of confidence here. But true confidence comes when you don't need the person to.
But what you're talking about instilling in someone else, that's just me letting you know that it's okay to make mistakes. So is that the same thing as instilling confidence?
Well, it is.
It can start there.
Yeah, it is.
I'm confident because my parents was patient with me. Like, I actually had to deep dive and understand, and me and Brittany will be talking, and what my expectations are and how I expect to get spoken to and where does that come from. And I had to tell her, like, my parents were really patient. I wasn't like a kid who got yelled at a lot. Like, that wasn't a thing for me. My dad always told me there's no such thing as dumb questions. So I was always curious. I was inquisitive. It gave me the ability to learn and get smarter, because now I'm not afraid to ask anybody a question. I'm not afraid to ask for an ice cream sandwich now, right? Sounds really, really small, but it was super pivotal for me, because if I can ask this guy for this, now as an adult, if I need to go ask for a loan, I need to go ask for, I'm not afraid to go ask. What are they going to say? Say no?
Yeah.
Somebody else going to say yeah. I learned though over time that you just have to have the space. Like Duke is saying, you do have to have the space. We do have to raise our children in environments that are conducive to their curiosity. And I feel like a lot of kids, and you'll see a lot of people who are nice guys were raised around parents who just, you have to do it this way. Because it's, you tell me who I need to be and I'll be that. Rather than
allowing you to go.
You said a lot of kids. Are you saying pretty much that a lot of kids are that are nice guys were raised in a household where they didn't really have a voice?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
That's my experience.
I agree.
For nice guys.
I agree.
You know.
They let them express themselves.
No.
Yeah, I agree.
It's in this box. Yeah. You are in this box of a person. Mm-hmm. You are in this box of even, I mean, and I'll say this, being a Christian, even just growing up in church. Mm-hmm. As an adult, I really learned how to speak to God. You know, you'll go, I'm God, can you please? Nah, he know your heart before you even knew what you was on. Mm-hmm. Go like, holler at him.
It's like they teach everybody how to be so delicate about it.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
And people grow up in households and they present in the world that way. Mm-hmm. So when you present in the world that way, you want people to like you. You want people to receive you. So, you know, instead of saying like, hey, man, I don't really like that, it's like, hey, how did you feel about that? And then when you tell me how you felt about it, then I could piggyback off of it because now I don't really have to ruffle any feathers. Mm-hmm. You know, and like, don't get me wrong. There's a time and a place to ruffle feathers and not. I'm not saying go into your boss's office.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm definitely not saying that, but I absolutely believe that people should know that this person has an opinion.
Yes.
If I ask them, they're going to tell me. You know, I think the best friendships are people who can rely on an honest person. You know, when people are moving up in life, for example, I have a very high profile clientele. I feel like my clientele remains with me because I'm very honest. Mm-hmm. I don't sugarcoat with people. If I feel like you did something whack, I don't care if you were on TV yesterday, if you were on a Super Bowl yesterday, it was whack, bro. I'm saying it from love, but I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. If I'm someone who's been considered a nice guy, and I'm trying to like get out of that, I'm trying to shake that. Like, how do I start respectfully checking people to let people know that like this is a boundary for me now moving forward? Like what used to work, I mean, without being an asshole, or are you just gonna be? You just got to get used to just being an asshole.
Yeah.
Until people say, you know what, I get it, I respect it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that you're only an asshole when it's unexpected. You're only an asshole when no one's used to it.
Yep.
You know? But then if it becomes a part of your identity,
it becomes the norm.
Yeah, and it's just, oh, I get it. Okay, so when he spoke to me like that, or he did me like that, it's nothing personal.
Yep.
Right. The other thing is that nothing is really gonna happen to you. You know, the world is not gonna come crashing down if you create boundaries for people. Yeah. If you let people down, if you say no, it'll be fine. You know, there's enough people and enough interactions and enough relationships in the world for you to be fine. So nothing's gonna happen to you. I would start small though. I would start by stop putting LOL in text messages when you're not laughing.
You're not laughing. Dead ass. Dead ass.
I would start there. Like something as small as just like, I'm not laughing right now. Why am I putting LOL? Because something
trying to soften the blow.
I'm trying to soften the conversation.
Yeah.
When I
don't want this person to think it's I'm too raw with it.
That's
right
something
now.
That's small.
Yeah.
All right. Another thing I would do is if I don't want to go places, I would figure out creative ways to say no. Okay. So not necessarily I'll think about it, but hey, I'm going to have to pass.
Yep.
Can't make it this time. You know what I mean?
Next one though. Appreciate you.
Like, can't make it this time.
Yep.
Things like that where it's just like, oh, you don't feel comfortable just flat out saying no. Well, figure out different ways, and these are small things.
And I like how you phrase that, because sometimes you could leave the door open by saying, I gotta see.
Yes.
Nah, stop saying I gotta see, or I'll let you know.
It's not I gotta see, because you don't gotta see.
No, you don't, and you know you don't want to go. Nah, so
you really don't have to see nothing.
I love that you said that.
It's like you just don't want to say that because, again, you don't want to let people down.
Yeah.
You don't want to seem like you're a bad person, you know, but it's okay. And that teaches you how to say, like, when the big things happen, it teaches you how to show up for yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it teaches you. It teaches you how to show up for yourself. Because if you, like, we are creatures of habit.
Yep.
We are going to do the things that we've been conditioned to do. And if we keep pacifying situations and saying things like that and committing to things that we don't want to do, like, we're never going to choose ourselves. Ever. And we're going to live a life of regret in the end. And we're going to think, like he said, we're going to look back and say, man, like, I should have spoke up for myself. You know how fucking demoralizing that is?
Because we've all had the moment, like, oh, I blew that.
Yo, why did I do that?
Why did I approach it like that?
Yes.
You know what's important? To piggyback off of things, like your question, Omar, to piggyback off of, like, things we could do, it's just being consistent, right? I was in deep thought the other day, and I was like, man, the power of consistency is so important, because when you're consistent, the people that you are actually searching for will begin to form around you, right? So in you saying, oh, I don't want to be at this event, right? Or I don't want to go here, or I don't want to do this thing, and you keep showing up to these events, you actually further put yourself in this deeper hole to say yes to things you don't want to say yes to. So being consistent in who you are and what you believe in, because, and I always go back to this example, Omar told us years ago, I don't drink. Anything where it is, hey, yo, we having drinks, I don't even ask if he wants one anymore, because he's consistently told me he doesn't drink. Now, if every now and again he like, hey, yo, let's take some shots tonight, and then tonight he like, I don't drink, and he like, let's take some shots tonight.
There's a crack in there.
It's a crack in there.
Taking your armor, bro.
It's a crack in there. So not being consistent about that. Like, there's nobody who gonna call us and be like, hey, yo, we got, hey, we going to this party. It's gonna be these people. Hey, don't bring your girls to slide.
They would never.
They're not gonna call us, because we've been very consistent in this space, right? But if we were fluid in that, there's a crack in there. So people would then begin to do it. It's the same thing with being a nice guy. When you're being a nice guy, you're gonna always be in compromising positions, because nobody knows who you are. And your boundaries are not clear. You haven't made those certain, and people are gonna always challenge you. That's just what, as humans, that's what we're here for. We're here to challenge, and people gonna always challenge you until you show them otherwise.
Yeah, damn. And you know, it's funny, man. People, everyone's gonna receive you differently as a nice guy. All right. No one's ever gonna say stop doing that. You know, no one's ever gonna say you're being too nice to me. You know, no one's ever gonna say that. So you think that everyone loves it, but really, what's happening is everyone's just taking advantage, you know, of your niceness.
Even subconsciously.
Not even deliberately. That's what I'm saying.
That's just who you are.
I've been a victim of that, or culprit of that. Like, okay, well, he ain't tripping.
I can ask him.
He ain't tripping. I'm asking him. I've done that, you know, and I think it's just, as a man, bro, we got to carve out just like, it's just so many things we're gonna have to deal with throughout life, and men are gonna respect you, women are gonna respect you. People are not gonna play. Like, imagine if you were going on dates all the time, and the girl you were dating, she was late all the time, and you didn't say nothing about it. You think she's gonna come on time?
Never.
But every time she comes late, you mad inside.
Not mad enough to tell her though.
Not mad enough to tell her though, but you mad inside. You know? So eventually that could be like an explosion.
It's going to be.
And it's going to be your fault, stupid. It's gonna be your fault. It's gonna be your fault, because you didn't have enough confidence in yourself to speak up, you know? And I love the fact that, I think you brought up confidence. I love the fact you brought it up, because it is confidence. It's all confidence. You know, people out here, you know, if you're not able to move in an abundant mindset with just people, you're always gonna feel like trying to hold on to people. And when you feel like you gotta hold on to people by any means, then you will do anything to stay attached to them. And that's what's gonna make you a nice guy. So it comes from having confidence and having that abundant mindset.
Hey man, abundant mindset. That is so prevalent, because when you don't have an abundant mindset, your thinking is so limited. So Like even just think about being financially abundant mentally, right? Or not.
Well, if you're not financially abundant thinking, it's probably because you're in survival mode.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So like it's hard to have that kind of, especially consider the times that we're in right now. The economy, it's hard. You know what I mean? Coming off of an election, people are struggling. You know what I mean?
I don't think so, bro. I think people can be fine and still not have abundant mindsets. Bro, I think it's just like, I think having an abundant mindset is beyond getting out of survival mode. Because you can be doing well and still be afraid. You still letting the loss of this prevent you from the gain of this.
In anything. That's true. And that, that's true.
And that loss is small. That's a small loss compared to the big thing. And I feel like that's just like that's how most people think. You know, it's hard, bro. Like, people be having a scarcity mindset in college. You know, in college, we don't really have pressure to like make a lot of money in college.
Yeah, but again, it is the environment that we grow up in, and you actually have to recognize it and pinpoint it. I actually didn't even realize that certain aspects of my life, I have a scarcity mindset until I'm sitting down with my wife who grew up in an abundant 2-parent household, and would just the way that we even view money was different. Like me, it's like, oh, no, I can't do that. It's just like, well, why? And I sit back and I think like, why can't I do that? It's like, because I didn't see my parents do it.
Yeah, you had to learn that. I learned that. Yeah.
I was conditioned,
Conditioned, bro.
So
Programmed.
like, I was programmed.
Yeah,
So even in that, I think this episode is it's powerful because people who grow up in a space of, I didn't think speaking up was necessarily. I thought pushing back was not a good thing.
Yeah.
Was to be pushing back for people. You're not supposed to. You gotta respect your elders.
Yeah.
Oh, but you also gotta respect women, and then you also gotta. And it's just like you can respect all these people and also respect yourself.
Yes.
And I feel like that is where a lot of people kind of and this is the thing, because everything is based off of the societal perception. You can't respect yourself in the dark. You have to outwardly respect yourself so you can force people to respect you as well.
Yep.
That's powerful.
You cannot do that. And that was something I feel like we all had to learn that at some point in time, right? So like even something as small as I'm 12 and we're running suicides and I'm looking around and I'm like, okay, the coach likes the guy that's at the front of the line. Hey, I got the front. I'm gonna get to the front.
Let me get to the front.
Do I want to be at the front?
No. Do I want to go first? No.
But I desire to be respected more than how I feel.
For sure.
That's funny, bro. You say that. I think about like how I even started to build respect around my name. It comes from sports, bro. And I got to credit to sports, bro. Like when I think back, like that, literally, that is the perfect example. Yo, no, I want to be recognized. I want to be notarized. And I see coaches respecting people who's working hard, who's stepping up in the front, who's being leaders, who's not afraid to make a mistake, who I got to step on the front line.
I need to be that guy.
I need to be that guy.
Yeah.
I need to be that guy. Let me go get my ass in the front. Let me go be willing to take a rep, even though it's not my turn anymore.
Yeah. I just went.
I'm going again. And I don't care what nobody else says. Because right now I'm trying to get this work. Yeah, that really comes from sports. I feel like a lot of us gained that from sports early on.
You know what's crazy? I didn't even learn it until I got.
You didn't learn it from sports, or you didn't realize that you learned it from sports?
I didn't realize that you can apply it everywhere. I remember when I got to class in college, and I said, I'm about to sit in the front. I'm not going to sit in the back.
We were just talking about this.
I want him to care about me.
We were just talking about
sitting in the back of the class is crazy.
Why would we think that
sitting
was
in the back of the class is crazy.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
I'm never sitting in the back of the class.
Nah,
that was crazy.
So it's to, and Duke always says it, you got to take up space, right? Even as a parent, right? I sit back and I look at how many parents don't go to parent-teacher conference and expect the teacher to care about your child just because they're a student in their class.
You haven't showed up one time for your son or daughter.
You have to take up space.
Yep.
Got to.
Like, and it just starts with just show up.
Yep.
Like sports, just
show up.
And that's great. Take up space, and literally, that's like just positioning yourself.
That's it.
That's good. Right there.
And that's where it just starts there. Just Show up, take up some space, and then from there you'll begin to understand what the nature of that taking up space actually requires. Like, I didn't understand what I was doing when I was at the front of the line, but when the coach is saying like, oh yeah, cool, you starting. Oh, I like this responsibility now, so I gotta always be at the front. All right, cool, this guy starts. I'm this guy now. All right, for sure. I mean, I need to start, actually, the people who don't start, I need to start speaking a certain way to them. The guys who do start, I need to start showing my separation and elevation from them as well. All of that stuff, but it's crazy. We can go back to the gym. Day one is always the hardest. The gym never is like, I want to do it more. I just get stronger.
Yeah.
Yep.
I get
better at doing it.
Let's get better at doing it.
Yeah. Last thing before we roll up out of here, I'm gonna give you guys, to answer your question, one more thing to help you overcome your nice guy syndrome. All right, is you want to start speaking. You want to start sharing your opinion more. That's it. When you guys go to these social gatherings, when you guys are talking to people in a barbershop, at a party, whatever the case may be, is when you're around your homies, share your opinion more. The more you share your opinion, the more you realize you'll start to give validation that, okay, my opinions actually matter, and like I'm competent and I make sense and people want to listen to me, and that's going to teach you how to speak up more for yourself, which is going to ultimately impact your life in a great way.
Man, I would say the last thing on it too, continue, instead of being nice and think about being respectful and polite. Like, to me, those are things that I'm consciously doing for other people. But being nice is like you asking me to do something or asking me to show up. Like, being polite is a choice for me that I'm making. You know what I mean? And I think that's how we should be moving, with politeness and respectfulness rather than being nice.
I would say your posture is important. And I just mean literally how you're standing, how you're looking, making sure you make eye contact. I remember as a young kid, my mom told me one of the biggest things that she didn't like about men is when men would speak to men and not make eye contact with them. She said she stopped. She wouldn't even be interested in the guy growing up if he introduced her to another guy and he didn't make eye contact with the guy. She said it made her feel like that man was inferior. And that was something that I've always taken. Eye contact is so important. Posturing yourself and just showing that you're confident. I'm not saying, be a peacock and spread your wings, but like, just take up space.
Yeah.
Show that you're there. It's very small, but, if you're not ready to speak up, at least make eye contact when you're shaking somebody's hand. Bare minimum.
Okay, look, man, I just got word, man. Well, before I let you know all that, man, listen, we are on year 4.
Yeah.
We're on year 4. We've been doing this for a while now. We are at 100 and what's the episode number?
29?
129, something like that, right? But it's up there. But the point is, man, we just want to thank you guys, okay? Thank you for rocking with us. Man, some of you guys been here from the first episode to now, and I hope you guys been able to see our evolution as men, as podcasters, as, the big bros, or however you want to describe us, man. I hope you guys have been able to see that, and we just thank you, man. So when I say much love, much gratitude, I mean that. We mean that, okay? So just be conscious of that and understand that. And like O was telling me, we are 8,000 subscribers away from 100K on YouTube, and we need that. All right, so if you watching this right now, don't just watch, go subscribe, and then share it with your friend, put it on your story, let them know Nice is here, let them know Nice and Neat is here, and we coming.
And also too, just know, like, when we reach that milestone, it's a celebration for all of us. Right? It's not just us here, the people behind the camera. This is like, you guys earned this too. You know what I mean? Because we all been in this together. So, I just want to continue to keep urging y'all to keep tapping in with us, keep sharing, because we're on the way to accomplishing something really great, and y'all gonna be a part of that.
And with that said, much love, much gratitude. I'm Duke.
I'm Jalan. This is another episode of Nice and Neat, and that's that on that.
better sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting old and I don't got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah. To the hundreds, pledge allegiance, I stand.